Hey, this is Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Hey, our next series is going to be talking about the 7 reasons to have an emergency fund. You know, that life happens fund, that Esquire happens. So, without further ado, please like and subscribe my channel and let's get started. Why this should matter to you. Most of you have high stress careers and you face unpredictable income and risk every day. Family responsibilities don't pause during an emergency, they just happen. Small businesses face sudden cash flow disruptions because we are and we still will go through business cycles. Preparation is the difference between stress and stability. So, with that said, over the next couple of slides, it's a total of 13, and we're almost going to number 3 starting now. I want you to think about this for a second. Emergencies don't send calendar invites. There's no Calendly, there's no Google, there's no MS Teams, there's none of that that's sending you an invite saying, hey, emergency alert, emergency alert. Financial readiness matters. Your job may be stable, but your income and health are not guaranteed. Preparation is the difference between stress and stability. Reason 1. Over time, we know come and go. Stress of shift pay can disappear. Some days there's plenty of overtime, some days there's not. Business income will fluctuate. Emergency funds absorb the income shocks. Now, I want you to think about this for a second before we go to reason 2. I want you to think about that since you can't predict when an emergency is going to happen, what do you do while you're waiting for this emergency to be over? One of the reasons that I talk to people about emergencies is that they happen, people. You could have a job loss, you could have a career transition. I remember when I transitioned um, into law enforcement, and I remember what the culture shock was when one day I was working at an organization, and then a couple of days later, I was let go and didn't know what I was going to do. I had some money set aside, but I had to use it. So I want you to think about what about medical leave or injuries or retirement or separation from the military or VA benefits while you're waiting for those benefits to come in? What do you have set aside for an emergency if you were to lose your job or have a career transition? You see, cash buys you time and better decisions. Cash gives you options, and no savings forces you to make bad decisions really fast. I want you to think about that for a second. No savings forces you to make bad decisions fast. Having some money set aside, that safety net allows you to make good decisions and choices when it comes to your money. Let's take medical emergencies or injuries. How many times have someone in your family or you or something happened where you got hurt? You had those out of pocket medical costs. Maybe you didn't have a HSA or a medical savings account, or maybe you had a partial income replacement that you need to do, or you needed time to heal without the stress. That emergency fund can do that for you. Now, I want you to also think about, before we go to this next slide, people, family, is that health should be your only priority. You shouldn't have to choose between healing and paying bills. But thousands of Americans all over the United States go through this every day. Do I try to go back to work or do I heal my body? That's a decision I don't want you to have to make, people. Family independent security. You should not have to worry about your housing or utilities that are coming due, child care or elder care needs, family crises that require time off. Maybe you have a sick relative or parent and you want to take time off because the doctors say it's irreversible, it's nothing can be done. And you want to spend your last bit of time with your mother or your father or with other loved ones, your child maybe. I want that to sink in. Not having an emergency fund makes you have an emergency. You see, your family deserves stability. Your emergency fund is your family's financial seatbelt. Just like you get in the car every day and you put your seatbelt on, or at least I hope you do, in the event that you should have a crash, you should do the same thing financially. And for those reasons, we come up with number 5. You have disasters and major emergencies. How many times have we heard of natural disasters or a need to evacuate some location here in the United States? Even the pandemic or shutdowns. I remember in 2020, I was literally out of work for about 30 days because I had COVID. Shutdowns, government shutdowns. We just experienced that about 43 days. Happen often. And if we don't get a budget in place by the end of January, it may be another shutdown. Or maybe you have to do an unexpected relocation because a loved one is sick and you need to be closer to take care of them. Emergency funds help you keep those major distractions or disasters or major emergencies down to a minimum. Not saying that you won't have them, but at least if you had the cash on hand, you can be in a better place when emergencies arise. Matter of fact, cash is immediate relief. Credit cards charge interest. Cash buys solutions immediately. I always hear one of my mentors say cash is trash. Well, an emergency is not trash. Cash gives you some options. Then we talk about the small business owners. Survival. For those of us who have employees that have to be paid, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, you might have payroll gaps. You might have equipment failures, software issues. You could have anything happen where you need to have a reserve set aside or late paying clients. Some of you know that depending on your actual business model, you may have people who can't pay you because their clients didn't pay them yet. So I want you to think about this for a second before I get to this next reason. Cash flow keeps businesses alive. Most businesses don't fail from bad ideas. They fail from running out of cash. Matter of fact, most small businesses fail within 3 to 5 years of starting, not because they don't have a good product or good service, it's because they don't make enough money. They don't have enough cash. What you want to have is you want to have a peace of mind. See, having cash in an emergency fund allows you to have reduced financial anxiety. better focus at work, and stronger family relationships. When you're not stressed about cash and you have cash on hand, conversations are different in your house. You're not stressed over who's calling. You're not hiding, and your children trying to figure out why you won't pick up the phone. So, how much is enough? We know that most American families can't put their hands on $1,000. So, let's start there. Let's start right now. Let's get $1,000 in your bank account or a savings account or a high yield account. And then let's set a goal to get 3 to 6 months of expenses. Now, these are your living expenses. You know, the things that you need to basically, whether that's rent or mortgage, light bill, water bill, insurances that need to be paid. It's your total out of pocket expenses. And then let's look at the fact that if you're in a high risk career or you're a business owner, we need to go beyond that 3 to 6 months. We need to do 6 to 12 months set aside in the I don't touch this fund in case something bad happens. You see, I want you to think about having money set aside where you don't have to use a credit card. I know you're probably saying, well, Mr. Financial First Responder, what does that exactly mean? Emergency fund, life happens fund. Well, remember, if we start small and we build with consistency, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Progress beats perfection. So, with that said, where should you keep your emergency fund? We know that it needs to be liquid and easily accessible. So, it could be at your bank in a savings account or account marked emergency fund, money market account. It just needs to be liquid, separate from your spending account. Okay, so this is not your checking account. This is a separate earmarked account for emergencies. Probably should be FDIC insured, and it should not be invested or at risk. So, in other words, this is not your crypto money. This is not your retirement money. This is not your I want to buy gold and silver money. This is not any of that. This is money set aside strictly for life happens, or as some of you young people like to say, the WTF happened fund. I want you thinking about where you can put this money. And we're looking at your next move. See, you have to put money aside immediately if you haven't been doing this. And what I want you to think about is these 3 questions. Could your family handle 90 days without income? Most families cannot. Could your business survive a shutdown? So if your business is earmarked and work with government and the government shut down or an industry shut down, could your business sustain? If not, today is the day you get started, people. It's today, not tomorrow. It's today. And then I want you to understand, prepared people don't panic, they execute. So if you want my help, you can scan this QR code or you can go to my website, www.truenorthadvisoryllc.com, and fill in the information and say, hey, I need help to build my emergency fund with confidence. Just send me that note. Look, this is Mike Barnes, the Financial First Responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. I look forward to talking to you, and I will see you on the beaches of the world, but only if you got an emergency fund first. Till we talk again, it's Mike Barnes, the Financial First Responder. God bless.